No, mate. No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So when you went to Salford, was that the crossover with Jackson Hastings? Did he go the other way when you went to Salford,
Yeah,
or did you
yeah,
play
he,
with it?
he,
He went
he
the other
just
way,
left.
didn't he?
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
left.
So that was the
I
season where
definitely
you
didn't take
went.
his salary.
No, yeah, you weren't marquee at that point. But yeah, so you've gone to Salford, so you missed the close call that Salford nearly defied the odds and won Super League. But
Yeah,
in your time at Salford, it's fair to say, and Paul Rowley has said this on many occasions, Salford has really punched. Obviously, a 2020 Grand Challenge Cup final. I think you were injured that day. You didn't play. Am I right?
COVID. Got COVID.
That's right, yeah. So I remember, yeah, you weren't a part of that. But obviously Salford in the Challenge Cup final. And of course, then we had this season when Brodie Croft was absolutely electric,
Amazing.
unplayable,
Yeah, it was a,
unplayable.
yeah.
Your time at Salford, obviously a part of a new project, a part of, I mean, obviously it appears that they're going through it a bit at the moment, but during your time there, it was a team that from the outside looking in, it weren't the biggest squad. Describe Paul Rowley in terms of how he brought those men together, because it almost feels like it was us against the world.
Yeah,
That's how it appears to somebody who's not a part of Salford.
yeah,
It's a small squad,
yeah,
the belief, the real tight bond that he managed
yeah,
to create with you guys, and of course before his time as well. Walk me
yeah.
through your time at Salford. What was your impressions of the club? Uh, you know, standout moments at Salford, and where you see him now.
Well, firstly, it was mad going from Wigan to Salford. I mean, Wigan couldn't keep me on the money I was on, and they wanted me to play right centre. And a bit more detail on it all. I could never carry the ball in my right hand. I broke my wrist 3 times. If you hit this wrist, the ball would just fall out of my hand. So I couldn't play right centre because it would take away a bit of a fend and skipping on the outside. So they wanted me to play right centre. They were offering me a little less money. And so I took a big pay cut and went to Salford, where they said I could play fullback. And I thought, coming towards the back end of my career, um, managers, sorry if you can hear the dog in the background, managers at clubs I'd always been at were like, you're an out and out fullback. Like, we just need to get you a pre-season at fullback. You need to learn the skill set of being there. But every time you played there, like I played there in grand finals, and I kind of knew it was my position, but I needed to brush up on kind of the skill element of stuff and the 3v2s and all this sort of stuff. So I needed a pre-season there, and Salford were willing to do that. So I went to Salford to try and pursue that in a way, to try and play fullback and do that before I ended my career. But yeah. I mean, mate, the recruitment at Salford, I mean, they didn't have the biggest budget, but they recruited a very mature squad, a squad where there was no kind of young blokes. And so I think, honestly, I think looking back, I think a massive part of it was a very mature squad. We had a very old squad. We had some good players in there that like had a point to prove in a way, had been taken away from bigger squads, and maybe like a Callum Watkins, where people were questioning after his knee surgeries, would he get back to that sort of form? So we had a lot of players who were trying to prove himself, and we had like a really good work ethic, man. And Paul Rowley, off the back of that, he's a really good coach, man. Gets the best out of a lot of players. Like, you look at like a Jack Ormonroyd, came with maybe not too much confidence. I think he was always a great player deep down, but what kind of transformation he did for like the likes of him and Tyler Dupree, and he really excelled these players' careers, and really got the best out of them. And so I think
Will he coach?
Sorry.
Do you think he'll coach, dare I say it, one of the glamour clubs at some point in his career, Paul?
I think
Does he deserve that? Have you seen enough to say that he deserves that opportunity at some point?
He would get the best out of players, and his attention to detail would be amazing. How he operates with the lads, he's definitely a top flight coach. So even like, mate, honestly, I think he'd be perfect. I think he would have been perfect for the Warrington job. Not to say Sam Burgess isn't, but with the funding they've got and how they could kind of work together with that sort of thing. Paul Rowley wants to be in control ultimately. He wants to know what players are coming in, what players he's signing, and to build a team around the way he wants to play. And I think he does want his teams to play the game in a very unique way. And that demands back rows being very fit, being able to get back and play free. So he plays it in a way that not many other teams can. But if he hasn't got the the board on board with the way he wants to play. It's very hard. So I do think he definitely can coach at that level, but whether he gets that opportunity in the future, who knows?
Superb. Sounds like you enjoyed your time there. I mean, what was it like to play that season with Croft? When Croft was, let's be fair, last year, Crofty was just, not
Yeah,
last year, the year before, Man of Steel year. He was just unplayable. And of course, the spine, the combination, the Briley, Croft, Ackers, that spine and how it works, from your perspective, watching that live in play, do you appreciate that as a fella pro when you're on the pitch with these guys and they're doing stuff? You said about like the Sandow bomb, you're standing there going, "Oh God, what if?" Do you also have those moments of reflection where you're seeing somebody like a Croft weaving magic, doing what he does, where you just stand back and go, "Wow."
Yeah, I think there's two levels to that. I think there's an amazing athlete who does the odd like incredible thing on the pitch, and you don't really see them. They're naturally gifted, and it's like, wow, it's beautiful to watch. But like a Croft, when you play with Crofty, right, and you see how much he loves the game, and you see how much he sat there. He was the only guy I ever saw sat there doing video and would create his own playlists on stuff that he'd watch back before games. And mate, how dedicated that man is to rugby, and even to watch him as such a great bloke come from like these massive clubs where I think a lot of expectation was put on him, and I think he started to lose his love for the game, and then come into a squad where a side where we weren't the Melbournes, we weren't the Brisbanes, and so all that pressure kind of come off him, and obviously in the UK as well, the fans aren't. It's not the national sport, I suppose. So I think just seeing all that pressure come off him and seeing him start to enjoy himself and laugh and even just the stuff around training, mate, that's what got him back to the form that he needed to be in. It was his well-being, it was his mental state, and it was him enjoying being around the lads, that pressure taken off of him. So I think it'd be interesting to see him at Leeds. He will definitely do everything within his power to remain at that standard, and I believe he will, mate. He's such an amazing player to watch. But it's just the pressure element. I just wonder if the pressure might bring back a bit of the stuff from the NRL. I don't think it will. Be really interesting to see, man.
It probably helps that Ackers has gone with him in terms of the combination, the understanding that those two have had. And from the outside looking in, a lot of talk at the moment, a lot of rumour. Is it going to be Odom? Is it going to be Lafayette St. Helens? There's a lot of rumours that have started this week. One thing's for certain, Salford have had a lot of quality. You mentioned Tyler Dupree, gone to Wigan, of course, last year. No Ackers now, no Brodie Croft. They've lost Ken CEO for personal reasons. You're talking about a lot of experience there that's gone out of their club. Yes, they're trying to bring players in to compensate for that. This is going to be a really testing period for your former club, and I'm sure, like myself, you wish them nothing but the best.
One thing I will say, every time I'd see Paul Rowley in the gym down at David Lloyd, and he's like, bring it on. He's like, I keep losing my players, but bring it on. We'll shock people. And so he's
telling him to get on here. Drop our name into him when you next see him. You want the Super League role.
Oh, I think he'd love to come on in. I think you'd enjoy getting an insight from Rowley. I think he's a very interesting guy, and mate, I think it's incredible, his attitude. I never once see him kind of sulk and, "Oh, we've lost this player now, and yeah, we'll find it hard now." It's never that. It's just watch, just like watch what we can do with what we're being given. And yeah, man, I think he loves that challenge. I think in a way he loves that challenge, and I think it installs the confidence within the lads. I've even spoke to some of the lads down there at the gym, and none of them seem bothered by it. But that radiates from the coach. You know what I mean? They have such an influential role. As soon as you have any sense of the coach kind of giving up on things, you'll naturally see the players start to give up on things. So
absolutely.
Again, something that Wayne had, his confidence going into games was just like, wow. But as soon as you can sense that kind of, like people don't need to be saying it. As human beings, mate, we pick up on stuff non-verbally, right? And if you can see a nervous coach, it radiates throughout the team. So you look at some of the best coaches, mate. They're just like Wayne Bennett, so confident, mate, just so calm, and it just radiates through the players. You think the players are adults and they have their own thing, but it has a massive impact on what the coach is feeling before games, leading up to games, how they're delivering messages. So yeah, man, he seems really confident. Seems really good going this year.
Yeah, you said it. We all have those. I say we all have a hidden Yoda. We pick up on things, and if you're picking up on really good, positive vibes and like the word confidence you mentioned before, it radiates into the players. It gives them that opportunity to go and express themselves. So that, of course, brings us to last year, Dan. There've been a lot of people surprised. I was surprised when a 29-year-old Dan Sarginson says he's retiring. Of course, we paid homage to you in our retirement video at the end of the season. But that took a lot of people by surprise. But the quest that you've now gone on, you see, and rightly so, as far greater than rugby league. And you've talked about your own tragedies that you've lived through during your rugby league career. You've talked about the euphoria of winning trophies and this, that, the other. So what I want to do is give you the opportunity of tell the rugby league community who don't know already, what Dan Sarginson's new career is, why you decided to retire, and the path that you're now on.
Yeah, cool, man. I just think it's so much deeper, man. I think I think the world we live in today. Not many people might agree with me, but I just think we live in a world today where I wouldn't say everyone's depressed. I wouldn't say, but I think we all struggle with things, and I don't think we really cope with it in the best way possible. I think our coping mechanisms of alcohol, drugs, or gaming, or our mobile phones, we're just becoming so disconnected. And I suppose for a while, for me, while I started to kind of work through my mental health and my depression and understand where it had all come from, and it's multi-layered. It's not something that can be kind of figured out within a certain talk. But I understand. I think it's on a spectrum. I think this mental health idea. It's not that we've got mental health or we haven't. I think that it's on a spectrum, and I think certain life events can happen. I think certain things can happen. For example, in schools, I think exam time can come up. Someone could have an amazing life and gone through life and not had a single problem. And then this fear of failure arises, or this pressure to succeed, or, for example, just as one little thing. And this can send people spiraling into a complete lack of confidence and anxiety. And then they might start to drink to suppress that. And it kind of spirals into different things. So I suppose I think everyone in life can benefit from understanding themselves a little bit more, whoever we are. And understanding, I suppose, for a long period in my life, I was just kind of press play to the same thing every day, rock up to training, do this, do that. Never really self-reflecting, never really trying to understand where I could become a better person, a better friend, a better family member, connect deeper to members in my family, and understand what blocks were in the way and whether they were mine or conversation. So I'm probably going off on a bit of a tangent, but I think everyone in life can tap into another level of connection with friends, family, all this sort of thing, and even with ourselves, and tap into a bit more vulnerability. I think, as I mentioned, I just think the way the world's going, and I think this generation that are coming through now, we obviously see a lot more mental health. And I was in Wigan yesterday and just speaking with a few old friends there, and hearing about the suicide rates through the roof, and that Wigan was struggling so much. It breaks my heart. It literally breaks my heart. But it just seems like we kind of all go by our lives, and no one really, it's like, oh, it's happening. It's very sad. And we kind of get on with our own lives. And it's like, that's what I was doing. And I suppose my passion to kind of think, no, I can keep going, but I'm being drawn this way. And I really want to play a small part in trying to really change the direction of what humanity's going, in terms of, if we continue to let this happen, then the generation below this are then completely addicted to virtual reality and gaming, and so connected from this human experience, where I'm like, let's try and plant some seeds now. Let's try and bring back the actual essence of life, and get off our phones and off our laptops, and enjoy life a little bit more. And like I said, continuously chip away at trying to become better versions of ourselves all the time, and understanding what stands in the way of that. And I suppose, mate, that's what I'm looking to get out there and deliver. I deliver to schools. I deliver stuff that's slightly tapered towards businesses and high performance. High performing environments and leadership stuff around that, which I've experienced throughout rugby. So there's lots of different things that I kind of talk about, but it's always got the underpinning of well-being, and always got that at the forefront of my mind. trying to improve people's lives, really, mate.
Yeah, and it's great to have another warrior because, of course, that's what I do in my daytime. You know, I'm exact. That's how we've got to know each other, and I think that word connection is really important. Self connection and the connection with others. And you mentioned mobile phones. It's quite ironic because people are probably watching this on the mobile phone. But
Yeah, no.
nourishing yourself is not a bad thing. If you love rugby league and it's a passion of yours, that makes you a better person. If you're getting a little bit of rugby league today when you're watching this, it makes you happy. Great, because if you're a happier person around your family and your friends, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think and again, correct me, Dan, I think Dan would agree with me, is that where social media does become a little bit of a problem is when we don't actually use it for such nourishment.
Yeah.
We become addicted to it. We start to live other people's lives through their Facebook feeds and the quest for likes and things like that. And if you look at how much time you spend doing that, it's probably hours a week. And if you replace that with true human connection, Dan just said, I went out with people in Wigan. Well, he had a choice. He could live somebody else's life on Facebook, or he could go and connect with people and have an impact on people's lives, whether it be through friendship, advice, whatever it may be. And I think, you know, like Dan, I'm a massive advocate of that. So I think the work that you've decided to do is absolutely crucial to our
Do you know
ability to reduce suicides.
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%, man. And you know, with that though, it's like first of all, you got to learn to like yourself. You got to learn to like yourself, yeah. Otherwise, you completely want to isolate yourself from the world. Like for me, at some point, I didn't really want to go out and see my friends. I just had this complete belief that I was a bad person and that everything I'd done within my life certain bad like made me a bad person. When I always knew that wasn't the case, and so that was me disconnected from going and seeing my friends. And so you've really got to like and accept and forgive yourself for who you are and what you've been through. But that's that deeper level of understanding. Then we can go out and socialize and people can see the best of us. It's like, but I have a lot of sympathy for them people who aren't out socializing. And I understand why they're on social media. They're isolating themselves from the world and it might become just a mind-numbing tool. And I get it. There should be no guilt and shame around that. But becoming aware that we're maybe doing that and finding the courage to go, do you know what? I don't want to sit and scroll on my phone. And I don't necessarily want to go out and see my friends, but whatever's stopping me from going out and seeing my friends, if it's anything to do with me or whatever's in the way of all this and whatever's causing all this, let's fight it head on. Let's face it head on with people who truly care about me. And I suppose trying to foster them environments where we can sit down and work through these blocks and understand. And yeah, man, like I said, and then when we can go out and we like ourselves, we appreciate ourselves, and we can spend quality time with other people, vulnerably, like who we are, not just putting on a mask of someone who this person wants us to be, surrounded by people who love us and understand us as a human being. Mate, there's nothing more powerful than that. But we've all got to understand that there'll be little bits that get in the way of that sort of thing that we might be completely unaware of. So even me getting out talking, even if it brings the slightest bit of awareness and that's all it brings, then perfect.
Absolutely.
But I just think we can all better our lives in so many ways, man. And I think it can help turn the tide on some of the stuff around mental health as well, definitely.
Absolutely. And, you know, Dan's talked about isolation. I've been there as well. You know, it's not just about you self-reflecting on where you're at and what steps you've got to take to be that happy self that you talk about. But if you're a friend of somebody, don't allow your brain to make excuses as to why somebody's not accessible. So, for example, you know, back in the day when I was in the private sector working a very stressful job, you know, I was ignoring phone calls from the family because I was in a bad place mentally, but they thought I was too busy. So they didn't think there was anything wrong. They just thought they allowed their brain to say, "Oh, he's probably busy at work." No, actually, I was in crisis.
Yeah.
So you know, as you know, if you've got people in your life that you normally hear from, that you're not hearing from, or you find it hard to get hold of them, more so than ever, get those people out for a coffee. Make sure you know you don't try and do it over a phone, because trust me, that could be the difference that makes the difference in that person's life, and that's what it's all about. And yeah, I mean, and this is why it's been great meeting Dan, not only because obviously he's a rugby league player and of course that's a passion, but I think the work that you're doing now, mate, dare I say it, you have left a legacy. There's no doubt. Like I said earlier in our chat, there's kids out there that proudly wore number 4, Dan Sarginson, and you will be forever the player that they talk about. So you will be somebody's Johnny Davis. You will be so. I mean, in my world, Dwayne, here's a name for you, Dwayne Mann, number 9. He used to play for Warrington as hooker.
Amen.
Yeah, Dwayne Mann, and I used to love Dwayne Mann. At the moment, I hope Danny Walker at Warrington. Might not be a Matty Ashton, might not be a George Williams, but I just hope pray Danny Walker. I think I see so much talent in Danny Walker. So, like I say, somebody out there, you are their world as a rugby league player. Obviously, in life, you're somebody's world. That'll be your family and your friends. And I think this work that you're doing now, I think perhaps, just perhaps, the legacy you're going to leave in that could be bigger than the great one that you've left in rugby league. And when we first met, I thank you for your service, because don't get me wrong, you brought me out twice, but what you did as a rugby league player brought me entertainment and brought me happiness, even though you were never a Warrington player. And I think every fan, and that's what Super League Raw is all about. It's about appreciating the people that allow us to escape for 80 minutes, to enjoy something for 80 minutes. And you need 2 teams to do that. So on behalf of the entire Super League Raw community, I'll thank you for that, Dan, because you're a champion in that respect. So well done,
man,
you.
I appreciate that. Very kind of you, man.
No problem. So we're going to go out really, really quickly. We're going to end with rugby league, and this is going to catch him a bit off guard. But hopefully, you're going to be able to do this.
Is it quick fire again? I felt myself panicking on that quick fire at the beginning because
don't panic. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. What we're going to do is we're going to pick, and number 4 he's taken. I'm going to let you play in this team. You will be number 4. Dan Sarginson, he's going to pick a team that he has played with 1 to 13. He's going to play at number 4 alongside these. Who's your fullback, Dan?
You should tip me up on these sort of things, man.
No, it's better this because it's more entertaining.
Right, whoever comes to mind then, yeah? So,
absolutely. Fullback.
So sorry, I'm number 4.
You'll be 4, yeah. So who's your fullback?
Who's your fullback? I'm going to go with Matty Bowen.
Matty Bowen. Who's your 2 wingers?
My 2 wingers are Don Monfreddy, a fit Don Monfreddy.
You broke my heart at Old Trafford. Yeah, but go on. Yeah.
Can I use the Gold Coast stuff?
Of course you can, yeah.
I'll keep thinking over to there as well. Anthony Don, yeah.
Right, okay. Who's alongside you at centre?
I'll go with Callum Watkins.
Yeah. Masterstroke taking him to second row, I thought. Masterstroke.
Yeah.
Masterstroke, wasn't it? Yeah, fair play to Rowley for that one. Right, who's your standoff?
I feel like no, I'm going to stay with that. Yeah, no, I'm going to stay with that. Cool. Sorry, go on. Sorry, what's that? Standoff. I'm going to go for Blake Green.
Brilliant. 7 is your scrum half?
Well, I probably should have put. Well, can I have? Well, I suppose George Williams and Blake Green are both 6. Well, I'll have them 6 and 7.
Fair enough. Who's your 2 props?
God, who am I thinking? Bit of pressure on this, isn't there? I'm gonna go with Benny Flower. And who's my other prop? God, this tests the old brain, doesn't it?
All the St. Helens fans have just turned up, but carry on.
I can't think. Do you know what is so hard to even cast my mind back over all the players I've played with in that? Again, it's not going to be. It might not be my best team because I can't think. Yeah. No disrespect to all the players I'm naming, but another prop. Do you know who I'm going to go for?
Go on.
Ryan Sutton.
Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, Ryan Sutton, man. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, hooker.
Hooker, man. I think I have to go with Mickey Mack, man. Mickey
McAloran.
Yeah.
The 2 second rows.
I feel like it's a bit Wigan dominated. This wherever. I've played in London as well, man. I haven't put any London players in.
Doesn't matter.
I might have even
second row.
I might have had an Antonio Cafusi in proper there, by the way. But never mind. Keeping my boys. Second row, let's go with. Can you help me out? Tell me some of the second rows I've played with.
Well, surely Liam Farrell's got to be in there.
Yeah, Liam Farrell. Sorry, Liam Farrell. Yeah, Liam Farrell, of course. Trying to think of the other back rows or the back. I can't think of many of the players I played with at Gold Coast. You know.
I think your number 13 is going to pick themselves based on earlier conversation.
Yeah, pick him now. Put him in there now. lockers, and back rower. Oh, I'll go John Bateman.
Yeah, class. So Fowler and Bateman and Sean O'Loughlin as your loose forward.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where would that team finish in Super League if they were fit?
Fit in their prime.
In their prime.
Fit in their prime. So we got we got like a 23-year-old Matty Bowen.
Yeah, yeah.
Mate, we're top, aren't we? We're top there.
There you go. There's your third. You didn't realise it. You came on this show and you've just won a third grand final ring. Well done, you. Dan, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Honestly, it's been fascinating listening to your insights, not only in rugby league, but in life. I wish, obviously we're going to keep in touch anyway, but, we wish you nothing but happiness and success in the future. Keep telling everybody about Super League Raw. Your mission, should you wish to accept it, is to get Mr. Paul Rowley on this show.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. I'll speak to him in the gym. I'll make sure it's not over text. I'll make sure I see him. So it'll be after Christmas, but I'll let you know, bro.
Problem. Great stuff. Dan, on behalf of everybody, have a lovely Christmas, a very family-orientated Christmas. Good health and happiness in your future. Thanks for sparing us your time. All the best, mate.
And you, mate. Thank you very much, bro.